Good day everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Mariette, also known as die Boervrou, and this is the fourth episode in the DB Socktober series that I'm doing here on YouTube for the month of October or Socktober. And yes, the previous video in the series, episode 3, I did a little knit experiment where I took some of my patterns, texture sock patterns that was written toe up, and I knit samples of the pattern cuff down to see how it changes, and that was fascinating results. So I will link the episode for you up here if you missed that, and you can go watch that and see what happens in those two patterns if you knit it cuff down and it is actually written toe up. In this episode I'm going to show you my progress of the socks that I'm knitting for Socktober, and I am giving you 4 pattern suggestions for socks that can be knit with minis, maybe just with minis, or you can add minis to a main color or whatever you like, but these 4 patterns is made with minis as well. Well, let's add a bonus pattern to that. I think we'll do that. Okay, right, let's get started with this video. I think firstly I'm going to share the progress on the socks that I'm knitting, and then I'll start with the pattern suggestions. So for the month of October I'm hosting the sock along called DB Socktober 2023. You can check out this hashtag on Instagram and see the socks that other people have been making. We have an Instagram group where we share all of our projects with each other, and it's a lot of fun. So for the Socktober sock along, I designed a pattern, and I did this year as well. It's called the Stripy Bird Hide Socks, and it is written toe up. But for the sock along, I decided to knit the pattern cuff down, just for fun, to see what it looks like. And I must say some people joined me in knitting it cuff down, and it was a lot of fun. And this is my socks. I have finished both. And it was really fun to knit. So this is a totally different color palette than I used for the original sample, but I love these colors and I really enjoyed knitting these socks and learning to see how it transforms from being knit cuff down rather than toe up. And they look the same to me, but anyway. These are my socks and I'm super excited to wear them. I still need to block them, but they are finished. I've knit these socks with some Knotty Habit sock yarns and one that I dyed myself, and they're all 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. And yes, that is the socks. I'm super excited about them. And then because the pair was finished, I just grabbed these socks that I was busy with in the first place. This is the first sock. It was already finished, I think, before October, but this is a pair for my husband, just vanilla socks, and with a contrast heel and toe. And these were also knit cuff down, just with my vanilla recipe that I started learning to knit socks, and it's a 72 stitch count sock. For this pair I'm using the Regia 4-ply yarn in the solid colors, which is also a 75% virgin wool and 25% nylon blend, and it's got 210 meters on a 50 gram ball, and the solid ones is just 50 gram balls. But I then picked up the second sock that I was already knitting on for October, and I decided to finish that for my sock knitting for the rest of the month. I didn't mention that the first sock of this pair I knit on magic loop. And yeah, we had a fire on the farm and some stressful times and things, and I just couldn't get my head around doing magic loop, so I just knit the second one on a 9-inch circular. And yeah, it's been great so far. I don't see a difference in the circumference of the sock, so I don't think my gauge changes from 9-inch to magic loop, or from magic loop to 9-inch, however you want to call it. The gauge seems to stay the same, so that is good. So that is how far I am with the socks that I'm knitting at the moment. If you are knitting on socks, tell me in the comments down below what pattern you are knitting and how far you are and how you're enjoying the patterns. I really love to chat with you in the comments and to hear about some more sock patterns that I maybe didn't know about. Alright, so let's start with the pattern suggestions as promised. So the first pattern suggestion for this video is my own pattern, which is also written toe up with a heel flap and gusset. And these are called the DB Stripy Seaside Socks. It is the pattern that I designed for the first annual Socktober sock along of last year. And in this you can also see that the leg has some texture pattern on it, and it was a lot of fun to knit as well. Really enjoyable pattern, and it comes in 5 different sizes, and you can use 3, I think it's about 3 yarns of about 10 grams, and the rest is, the other 2 is a little bit more, but you can use some leftover yarns and minis to do your leg part, and it is a really nice pattern. So the pattern is available for purchase on Ravelry, Etsy, and in my online shop, and all of those things will be linked down below if you're interested. Right, the second pattern suggestion for this video is the Color Palette Socks by Laura Moratz. It is a free pattern on Ravelry, and it is really a really pretty pattern with these little color blocks of color. And yes, you can check that out if you like. I will link all of them down below. The pattern features only one size, approximately a circumference of 20 centimeters, and the length is adjustable. So really nice pattern as well. I've seen this one knit up quite a lot of times before. Right, then the third pattern suggestion for this video is the Cookie Swap Socks by Dana Ray Makes. And these are very interesting. I love that there is texture and color blocking happening. It looks like it can be a lot of fun, and it'll keep you entertained for all of the time that you knit these socks. So these are also available for purchase on Ravelry, and it is a sock pattern that uses an 8 skein mini set or some leftovers from your stash, with different texture and mosaic colorwork sections to highlight all of the colors. Right, and it comes in 3 adult sizes, and it also provides instructions for heel flap and gusset and a standard rounded toe. I really like these, they're very pretty. Then the fourth pattern that I am suggesting for this video is one that I've also knit myself. It is the Candy Cane Stripes by the Crazy Sock Lady, and it is also for purchase on Ravelry, I think in her Etsy shop as well, if I remember correctly. But they are a lot of fun. It is a colorwork pattern, so the legs is colorwork and the portion before the toe is also colorwork. And the pattern is written cuff down. It's got written and charted instructions for the color work, and she has a video in the pattern on details of how to weigh your yarn and make sure that you have enough, and how to know when to start your foot stripes. And she shows you how she knits the color work and gives some tips on how to make sure that your floats aren't too tight. So she's got a nice video in that, and I've actually watched it because I do own the pattern. Right, so that is the 4 patterns that I wanted to add to this video, and then as a bonus I will also add this month's stripy bird hide sock pattern to the mix for you for a suggestion of pattern to knit with some leftover yarns and then one extra main color, I would say. This is the original sample of the pattern. So here you can see that I used 5 different colors, and I used more of a main color with this sample because I knit the cuff as well as the foot and one stripe in the main color, whereas this one I used a little bit more of this color and I added to the cuff. So this is the main sample, which just shows you can play around with color quite a bit and get away with more things. I mean, you can even divide your foot up into little stripes, whatever you like. It is really up to you. So this pattern is currently only written toe up with the heel flap and gusset. As I said, it can be knit cuff down quite easily. I didn't have to do much modification. I just knit it in the same sequence from the cuff down. And because it is still October, which is still Socktober, you can still get this pattern in all of my shops at a discounted price of 25% off without a code. You don't need a code, it will be automatically applied. So you can still grab that while you can at a discounted price. Yes, so that is all of the update that I have for you on the socks. I have not worked out what my next video will be next week, because I think next week will be the last one in the series. But I'm looking forward to making that and share something nice with you in that. Maybe it'll be just a little vlog. I don't know. Let's see. But I hope that you enjoyed this little video and saw some sock patterns that you haven't seen before. And let me know if you like to knit colorful socks with leftover yarns in your stash. And let me know of some other nice patterns that you have come across your knitting journey from which you can knit nice colorful socks with leftover yarns. I would love to put that on my list, on my to knit list. Right, that is it from me for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more of my content. And I will see you in the next one. Enjoy the socks. Bye.